Welcome to the Blades and Bloodlines podcast. I'm Aidan Biasi, a 7th generation barber, carrying on my family's legacy in our 3rd generation shop, a fixture in our community since 1978. This podcast is about more than cuts and trims. It's about connecting with people who have incredible stories, fascinating careers, and vital perspectives to share. Every episode encapsulates an authentic barbershop experience, a bastion of free speech, likes of which you've never seen, and flows into a meaningful conversation, one that might just change how you see the world. So pull up a chair, sharpen your mind, and join the conversation. And remember, soon you won't be able to say anything. So while you have the opportunity to say something, say something. Welcome to the Blades and Bloodlines podcast, and obviously here with us today is Daniel, House of Blasius, Stojy from Stojafy. Eat it, swallow it, regurgitate it, shit it out.
No one knows my first name.
What is Daniel?
It's Daniel. That's all right.
No,
Double D's.
Double D's. But obviously this is obviously our round table crew. You know what I mean? The Knights of the Round Table.
I like that.
Got a lot to start off. And Daniel, obviously you've gone through a little bit of hardship recently.
Yeah, man. Bit of surgery.
So yeah, run us through.
I'm transitioning to a female.
It's a girl.
So brave.
That's it.
No, neck arm surgery. Like a crushed sort of a nerve that made my arm a bit funny, a bit dropped off, an emo. So I got a lot of rehab to do, you know.
So what caused
I think it's could be sports, like just continuous sports, playing soccer, maybe heading the ball. You know, jiu-jitsu would have aggravated it.
So really wear and tear, essentially.
It's wear and tear, mate.
Okay.
And I think in time it sort of just crushed to a point where my nerve was squashed, 6 and 7. And so now it's released it, hopefully, and I can regain it. It takes about 1 to 2 years for the nerve to come back. It's a lot of fucking time. It's going to teach me patience, man.
Well, this is the lessons that we learn. We're all men of Christ here.
Yes.
And obviously, you know that we're led to these moments. We're led to these lessons because obviously, it feels like we need them. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, as we say, it doesn't give you trials and tribulations that you're not ready for.
No,
but what do you think you have learned in that time where you've been incapacitated?
Dude, fuck. Mate, I'll tell you what, just wanting to swim, I want to be happy. Even just the feet, to hold my hand up, to be able to hold it, to eat, or brush my teeth, or shave, those basic things that we all take for granted.
Yeah.
Mate, even that. Like I thought, weights, I got to stop weights, then I got to stop this, then swimming. And I went down to the point where I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So I just want to get back to building back up so I can do basic stuff.
Yeah.
Swim and get back onto the weights, you know? Bit of yoga.
100%. And who's been in your corner in the recovery?
Oh, everyone, mate. Daniel, Stojy.
Yeah, of course, bro. I love you. We all love you.
Yourself, mate. And that's the thing you do find. That's one thing you learn too, is who actually really care. You know, the ones that are there for you, man.
Your missus is a real rock for you.
Yeah, mate. Of course.
100%.
Yeah, man.
And how does that then? I guess, because we're obviously I'm married. You've got a partner. What is it that your missus does in terms of your recovery that you think is ideal in a woman?
The basic stuff, she said to me, she goes, I want to make you strong so you can, be strong enough to look after the kids and myself and my daughter and
stuff. They don't make them like that anymore.
Dude, I'm like, whoa.
No.
The stuff a man wants to hear, man. I'm like, man, that hit me because she just feeds, brings me food, looks after me, does housework for me, which I never ask for. You know what I mean? Those basic stuff.
But I want to touch on something there. Like you said, they don't make them like that anymore. And that's true. That's right. I don't know who's making them like that, but she said, so she understands what the dynamic really is, and I want you to be strong so you can look after us and take care of us.
She said it straight up.
Exactly. So we come back down to a basic principle. So hopefully you don't transition over to a female. Please don't do that. No. You might get 1 million, subscribers on TikTok if you do that. But that saying that, so she understands and she gets, and that's beautiful. And and hopefully we can bring that back in the world.
Yeah, and it's just respecting, just having that respect. That's all it is respect,
Well, where do you think it's gone wrong now? Because I don't know what you see when you look out your window, but I tell you what I see. Unfortunately, I see a fair bit too much degeneracy, boys and girls. I feel like women are losing their femininity, but also men are severely lacking in masculinity as well. I feel like the sexes aren't balancing each other out anymore. There's this really unhealthy competition kind of about Well, even now, with I don't even feel like men are masculine now.
No.
In a sense. I mean, just when you see a bloke walking down, sucking on a vape, and then scrolling at the same time, and then, you know, filming himself, hey guys, I'm here today with my fucking vape. And I just think, what's happened?
So, yeah, can we swear on this podcast?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, no, also, I just want to make sure. I just want to clear it. So,
You keep going.
It's
I'm
fucked.
going to turn the aircon on.
Yeah, turn the aircon. It's fucked. So here's the thing. So where's it gone wrong? It's technology, social media. There's nothing wrong with technology and social media and where we're going because it's an added tool. But it's just the ease of access, OnlyFans, breaking down family ties, all this stuff. Like, you forget, like, and this is a massive thing. I'm at home scrolling sometimes, and you know, my mum or the missus is talking to me, and I don't listen. I'm like, then I put the phone down. I always put it down the other way. I'm like, sorry, what did you say? I apologize on that, and then actually listen and partake in your life. Where now it's just everyone's just trying to get ahead and live in some fucking fantasy world, and you can't tell me what to do. Like, no, there's rules and regulations.
It's the main character syndrome
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Everyone's a main character, and it's always been that human thing. I feel like whereas everyone's more important than everyone else. Do you know what I mean? The guy walking down the street is going to walk past here and think, oh, you know, I want a haircut, but they're not open. How dare they not be open? I can't get my haircut now.
I don't want to wait in the line. Why should I wait in the line?
Exactly. And then, but I feel like that's been the human condition for such a long time. And when you deal with people like that, like obviously, do you guys deal with people actively in your jobs?
Yeah.
Like in your day jobs, like you're dealing with people
All the time, yeah. That's
all
that's
the
what
time.
it is, isn't it? Yeah,
But you know what I find combats a lot of this stuff is actually getting to know people.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I get to work on a Monday, and usually before we talk business, whatever, how's your weekend? What's going on in your life? How was it? And then after you have the discussion, all right, now let's start building bridges. Let's start getting down into what we're doing for work. So it's actually bringing it down to, you know, the bare bones. So for example, if you come in and you have to wait in line for a haircut and you're in a rush, just stop for a moment. You don't know what God's plan is. You might meet someone that you know, you strike a deal with them or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's just calm down, wait, patience, and you have to. Like, otherwise, wake up earlier next time, or why don't you call ahead and see what's going on?
Well, when they were like that, because people are so notoriously hard to deal with because of the human condition, you almost can't. It almost lends itself to this really sick kind of train of thought where if humans are so easy to manipulate, it's almost like you can't blame psychopathic leaders for taking advantage of it. Like, but put it this way, right? You've got a council, you've got all these different levels of government, right? And at the moment, the Northern Beaches is in the throes of this argument of their rates going up. And we already pay astronomical rates here anyway. And but no one is going to do a thing about it. And they know that no one will do a thing about it because it's very easy to combat that. Just stop paying them. But no one's going to stop paying them because they're all
or
just...
everyone's going to do it.
Exactly. And then when you have these leaders come up and then you see how some people talk to... Good politicians turn bad, even though there is no such thing as a good politician, but they all start out with the right intentions. And then when you go out and talk to people, like when my dad was running for council here, and I had to go to the public schools to help them hand out pamphlets, some of the people, man... because my dad was running on the ticket of another member, and I'd say, hey, sir, look, my father's running on this ballot. He's the local barber. Oh, the guy's running with ripped off $1 million from these people. Oh, I heard that guy's secretly a homosexual. And this and that. And then if I was one of these people making the rules, you know what I'd say? You know what? Stuff these people, man. I'm going to rape and pillage as often as I can in this job because the people just don't deserve it. They just don't deserve it from their behavior. But then again, having said that, I really feel like our generation now is about to go through some hard times. And we obviously have this saying that's been going around at the moment that weak times create weak men. But does that mean then you're kind of praying for hard times? Don't you technically want those weak times?
Well, we need it.
You know, you need it. You need balance. But I feel like we've kind of gone a little bit out of whack now.
That's to get the young generation back is to go through hard times, man.
You have to go through hard times.
Have to, dude. Because that's what's going to make them come back. You can't just tell them to come back.
No.
You got to actually, like, there might be a disaster. I don't know. Something where it shuts off, or they have to actually, they can't spend the money. Money gets cut off, or they've got to look for their own food.
What happens if there's no electricity or the phones
fucked.
go down? You don't have internet. What are you going to do?
It all just went down in our street a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So what did you guys do? Pull out board games and have fun?
Cut each other's hair.
Just light some candles and just...
That's it, man. Spend some time.
Sit around and just talk. But it came back on quite quickly, but immediately you're kind of like, all right, what do you call it? That part of your brain that needs constant stimulation is kind of, I'm not getting any of it. You sit down on the couch, get the remote, that's right. Go on your phone, that's right. And then you just look at your missus and you're like, what have you been up to today? Like,
Hey, getting back to bare bones. Oh, fuck. Put the kids to sleep. When did you get a haircut?
I have to talk to her now.
When did you get the haircut, you know?
But still, I reckon that does a lot of good when that happens.
It does, mate. That's why
100%.
my kids would go camping, you know? They went I had to pick them up. They went camping, mate. Just did nothing. They had their stuff, but fishing, swimming.
It's the best.
There was native animals around.
Yeah.
You know, barefoot. That's the stuff.
That's
Feet on the ground of earth.
That's the way that it's meant to be, man. Like, we bring it back to when we were younger. So obviously you were a lot further
more
back.
so.
81, baby, mate.
But the thing is, no internet back in those days. So when you went to go have fun with your friends, it was actually legit having fun. And you used to create stories, and then you used to go out and play whatever it was and use your imagination. Now it's like, you know, AI's telling you what to believe, and they're showing you they're showing you a future what they want. You know, they're feeding your mind instead of you actually learning how to develop your imagination. Read a fucking book.
Yeah, but it's done on purpose.
How many kids read a book? Of course it's done on purpose.
You know,
we know that. We'll get
If
into
we
it.
want to touch down that,
Are we
going to
touch on that?
Fuck yeah.
Touch
Touch it,
it.
rub it.
Let's
Feel
get
in all
into
different
it.
Directions.
Well,
Done on purpose. Have you seen those videos now that's been going around socials of those people actually saying into the AI, if you wanted to leave the Matrix, or alternatively, if you wanted to enslave humanity through a technocratic, you know, kind of agenda, how would you do it? And the AI goes, well, I'd break up the family unit. I would erase gender. I would radically disempower men and women. So I would make men feel like they have no purpose. I'd make women feel like they were totally empowered to the point where they're completely biologically out of their minds. So, for example, I take it like when I look at those memes that talk about a possible World War III draft, and then all of a sudden the next clip is a feminist sweeping and doing dishes, pretending that she wasn't just a feminist for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
All of a sudden she wants to do womanly stuff again, because so they say, all right, well, if you can do anything we can do, well, then I'll see you at the draft. So, oh, no, I'll do the dishes, I'll wash up, whatever. It just makes me laugh. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How AI is becoming very, very, very scary how accurate it is. But even alternatively, with how would you leave the Matrix, it says by land, homeschool your kids, get them completely out of mainstream indoctrination.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's easier said than done doing that,
It's hard,
obviously.
man. You got kids. Do you know what I mean? You got your kids. They're going to put them to school. Like mine's both at high school this year. Come in year 7 and 9.
But do you
Still got time.
Do you kind of engage your kids with this kind of stuff?
Oh,
or do you let them have their innocence?
No. They have the innocence, but they learn more from YouTube and stuff now than me.
Do you monitor what they watch?
Before it was your grandparents and before you was grandparents and then your parents.
Yeah.
You know who you got the information from. Before internet, it was a mum and dad at home. Mum was the boss, told us to eat. When to go to sleep, Dad came home and you know, bang, 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 and see you later, you know, but in a nice way. That's how it was, in a nutshell, dude. I didn't online with friends. There was none of that. You go to the park, you play with your brothers or whatever. You meet friends in the local area. No phone calls. It was just there.
Yeah.
If they saw you, that was it. You're always looking outside. Then my daddy's come home, whistle for dinner time.
Yeah.
From the park, we could hear him go running, and that's it.
That was the best, bro.
But look at now, they're straight on their line. They're online and that. They're you know. They do a lot of sports as well.
Yeah.
Kids do a lot of sports now.
Yeah,
you know?
there's all this kind of stuff, because I obviously on Instagram I kind of find myself following people that are quite mainstream, but then also people that are really on the homeschool side of things, and they say, nah, putting them in so many sports and this and that is just to ultimately wear them out and distract them.
You can push too much, you know.
Well, to keep them so busy, but the problem is, what are kids doing now when they're not busy? They're not going outside and finding something to do.
They're on their phone, bro.
It's on their phone.
But they're getting overstimulated.
Because it's too much work, too much. Yeah.
I get that, but they're also you go play sports. You learn a lot of key skills in life. All right, and then you start learning different virtues. You have good mentors. What do you got now? They're all on the internet, and you don't even know who they're following or what they're looking at. And, and they're literally getting brainwashed. We're all getting brainwashed.
That's what I say on YouTube, man. They go on YouTube. My son knows a lot more coming in. Like you said, how do I speak, talk about this stuff? Yeah, I do, but not directly. I don't go, oh, blah, 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 blah. I have conversations with people that they hear. It's not rude or anything. It's just, but they see it. They see it. And it started with not being vaccinated.
Absolutely.
I didn't tell them. I just said no because I was the only one basically around, and I said no. and when it popped and all the stuff came out, they sort of don't have to say, I said, oh, Dad was right.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not going to go into it. And now that I discuss things, transgenders and all that sort of stuff, comes out, like,
Yeah.
you have to talk like that.
You
You have
have
to tell
to.
them it's not normal.
Yeah.
I want to just bring something up. So, just during like 2020, just before the vaccine mandates came out, we had some friends over, and they were the girls were talking about how in school, like, there's a lot of so our friend, her daughters, they were talking in high school about how there's a lot of kids that are confused, binary, non-binary, don't know what they're doing. Like, if you're a female, you might like men, you might like
They're
chicks.
thinking about it.
That stuff did exist back then. Like, I remember back in high school, there was a couple of lesos in our year, which was awesome.
Lesos,
cool.
and you call them lesos.
Lesos, lesbians.
Well, they're
sorry.
the ones you go to for advice when you want to talk to, what do I say, what do I do,
How do I cup it, munch?
Exactly.
same. Yeah, like, well, I just felt like you could. Not that I knew too many lesos or gays, but like
Tomboys, man.
But I feel like you can go to them with certain problems. Like for example, before we come back to what you were saying, my in Houston where my missus grew up, her best friend's gay, right? And it was so ridiculous because he was having problems with his boyfriend, and he said to me, "Aidan, I need your advice," and I was like. On what? He goes, I don't know what this and that means. In your perspective as a guy, if he's saying this, is he interested or not interested?
But isn't he a guy?
But this is the thing. Like I don't know.
But he's a guy.
But it doesn't matter. But still, in
Sorry.
his mind, he was going more feminine.
He's thinking feminine.
No, but he was going more
feminine,
feminine.
yeah,
we used to
obviously.
have. There was guys.
Obviously,
when
he
we
needed
were-
a man's
yeah, that's
advice, but he's a man.
but I was flattered in a sense because a gay dude was asking me for advice about how to
Suck dick?
No.
Sorry, dude. Is that allowed as well?
No, that's all right.
He came to you.
Yeah.
I've heard
A gay
stories,
guy
Aidan.
came to me for advice. I guess I should really follow up after that straight away before people get lost. He came to me for advice.
Aidan, tell me, what do you like?
Yeah. I had a gay guy crack onto me on a cruise. It felt good, man.
It does feel good.
I was like, yeah.
I've
you
had
know?
it.
When I was with my missus in Europe, I had a gay guy crack onto me in Macca's in France. And he was a Spanish dude. And he said something to my wife in Spanish, saying like, "Oh, your boyfriend's salchicha, spicy, picante." And I was like, just like, and that was at the point where kind of like when a gay guy cracks onto you when you're 19, you're like,
Yeah.
But now
Fucking
I'm kind of just like,
Yeah,
oh
dude.
my god,
I could be gay.
I'd be getting 10.
I'd be cleaning up if I was gay.
dude.
I would with this hair.
Oh, God.
Dude,
man.
bear
gay
syndrome.
guys don't
I
have
want to
standards,
fucking hold it
eh?
now. And I'm not gay, right?
I feel like with gays though, the reason like why they would party so much is because imagine having like when you're younger, or even now, we're still testosterone driven guys. You could just pump still jerk off 3 times in the day and still fuck at night. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, dude. Yeah,
but then
yeah.
imagine 2 guys.
Not anymore, bro.
Oh,
Maybe 2 times in the
but then imagine having that energy with 2 guys.
Yeah.
Like this is why they
Yeah.
don't settle down and they pump all the time.
And they're always happy, too.
That's why
Oh, but
glory
I-
holes were made.
Yeah, but I feel like they're very dysfunctional there.
Of course they are, man. Because it's not meant to be. Sorry.
Snap.
It's not meant to be.
I've met some.
I don't-
I've met some beautiful gay men.
Yeah.
And I can't wrong them. Whatever. Like, they're beautiful, fantastic. All right. Like, you sort of like say, yeah, it's wrong, but then you look at how beautiful this. So what am I gonna just like disregard this person and not listen to them, or you know what I mean? It's a bit. They've been around. They've been around for centuries and millennia.
Sorry.
They actually say in Samoa that you say, oh, how many genders are there? There are 2. They say in Samoa that gay is the 3rd gender.
In Samoa.
So they would say so. I spoke to one Samoan about it, and I spoke to my wife's gay friend about it, and I said to him, "Did you know this thing about Samoans?" A Samoan guy told me. We've got a lot of Samoans in Australia, and one of them told me that, oh no, they have this whole idea of the gay uncle, the 3rd gender, being homosexual or being a lesbian, and he goes, "No, I'm very aware of that." So I guess that would kind of lend itself to how many genders are there? I don't know, 1 and 2, and I don't know, like how they say with the vows. There's all the vows and there's one that should be one, but it isn't. That kind of thing. I don't know. Not that it really matters, though. It's
Yeah, but
semantics,
that could
right?
be.
Who the fuck knows, anyway?
Yeah, but that could be, man. But Samoan gays.
Well, the 3rd gender being
the gay one.
the gay. Because what is that, really? Because they're dudes that act feminine, so it's not even an anything.
I was going to say, too, I reckon there's a huge percentage of gays that actually be gay just for attention as well.
Oh, fuck.
The queen ones,
I
man.
feel like that's a very big leap to take for attention.
Well, you can go as far.
It could be one for trans.
You can go as far.
It could be one for trans. You want to get further in Hollywood? Transition.
Yeah.
And there are some genuine people out there that have something really going on.
Imagine being tortured in your head.
Yeah, and I think you can sympathise, but not when you're 12, 13, 15, before you're 18, before your late 20s. I think that's also a part of growing up where you're getting a bit confused, which is okay. I'm sure...
You're still confused, aren't you?
No, that's why I've got the long hair. I'm not confused, mate. I'm a male, mate.
You're a man.
The thing is, there's this confusion, like we go back to...
They're fostering it, though.
It's also celebrating. Oh, you are confused. Yes, it's like, it's okay to feel this way, and you should go ahead and transition. So, no, well, hold on a second. If they're feeling this way, let's talk about it. See what's going on. Find out where the confusion's coming, and you'll probably find out it's probably something in the water.
Well, a lot of it's abuse, right?
It could be. Yeah, it definitely could be.
Because you normally find out most guys that are when you really look into it, you look at a lot of the the guys that do like pedo hunting. And then they talk to guys that actually do victimize children, and they actually say that they are themselves, not to excuse them, but they say they actually are victims themselves, that the sexualization of kids fucks them.
Of course.
And then obviously you look at what they're doing now, this mass brainwashing of kids, and even because they're on TikTok and on Instagram, like I said, you don't know what they're looking at. So they're getting psychologically messed up by the algorithm.
Yes.
They don't need people to go and kitty fiddle them anymore. The government's doing it for them.
Well, my generation was the princess needs the prince, and the prince needs to save the Cinderella.
Exactly.
That was me, man. Save the wounded dove. Look after someone. The prince comes in on his horse and saves. And then she wants to be rescued. That was that. Now they're waking up in the 40s, and that was the brainwash. So this brainwash now, what's going to happen to these kids in the future?
Well, it's going to mess them up.
Then what about the ones coming now? This is why, it's got to wait. We have to wait. It's the parents now having kids, like yourself, your age especially. You need to stick to what you know.
Well, let me tell you this interesting story that happened to me at the beach not long ago. I've got sons, but you've got a daughter.
Yep.
So I was at the beach. I was at Shelley Beach in which is a beach just kind of off Manly. And my wife, being Mexican, is quite conservative, from a very conservative background, very, very, very Catholic. I myself am Italian, but I grew up on the beach. So in terms of conservative, yes, but, whatever. Being beachy is, kind of live and let live, right? But I thought to myself, right, so we had set up our cool cabana, our tent. My son was there having a nap, and we were there, we were chilling. And then there were this group of these Scandinavian girls. And one of them, the one with the smallest breasts, started to sunbake and took it all off, and I'm sitting right there, literally where that van is out of the shop, that truck, that ute, that's where they were. And my missus was using the commode over at the surf club, and I knew that when she came back, somehow this was all going to be my fault, and I'm like, oh God, do I have to move? Do I have to move everything? And then
just poke your eyes out. I didn't see shit.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on?
And it's like, oh, what are they doing? I'm like, I didn't notice that. But I did have to speak because this was out of all the girls, it was Mrs. Mosquito by the one that started fucking.
Oh, that's good then. It's like
if her friend was, it would have been a much bigger problem.
Yeah, but it's not your fault. Let's just say, just put on the table. It's not our fault. I can't control that.
No, and I'm not going to go up and tell them to put it away either, because then you'll hear on the other speech, "Hey, dude, leave them there."
But if it was the three of us.
But also, you look at the
sunglasses.
No sunglasses for me, bro. I would have had binoculars. I would have just sat down next to it. No,
the big one's coming off now, guys. The big one's coming off now.
But obviously, to round out what I was saying was my if I thought to myself, if this was 20 years ago and I was there with my dad would have been going like, see, Aidan, look at that, Obviously, my dad didn't talk like a sex pest. He would have just been like, he would have been like, when I was your age, I would have gone straight up to her.
My man, he never talked to me like that. My man never actually. Never. When I'm thinking about that now, that's like the normal thing to do. But no,
my dad did the whole thing, making sure I would have made sure by bluntly asking, "Are you into that?"
Sure.
Good. But then I thought to myself, all right, what if I had a daughter and my daughter was where my son was, and then my daughter sees that because she's at a mature age where she knows that a chick is just taking her top off at the beach, full of people, and she is. What do I then do as a dad? Do I go up and say, hey, look? No. Do I encroach on her right to do what she wants? Because during COVID, it makes me a hypocrite. You do what you want. You can't force others. But
explain it to her.
But
Yes.
explain.
It's
explain
different
it
now.
to
So
her.
the old days,
Yeah.
sorry, you could just
Great,
say, hey,
great
look,
fucking answer.
you explain
He
it.
has a daughter.
That's what I would
you
do. I
Yeah.
explain, say, I would go, look, I said, that's not good. I said, well, that's that's a bit blah. I explain it and I say, do you guys want to move? But if it was my dad, he would have gone. He would have
pulls out a stogie.
He would have gone, no.
Can you-
He goes, oh, the
Here's
white
thing
pointers,
for
the
you
white
though.
pointers
So-
are out.
if you see your daughter and whoever, you have to explain that situation to them, and that's you have to always explain. You have to educate and teach. But what I would say is, this is completely normal for Scandinavians. They will go into saunas naked with their whole family.
There's no sexual-
That is so. If you and I are brothers, all of us here, let's say we're from the same family or friends, whatever. Over there, we're getting our kid off and we're going in the sauna together. That's completely normal.
Yeah, to
That's
sexualise
normal.
it.
I'll do that.
There's
We
no
should do that.
sexualization there.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, you
Yeah.
see a bit of a nip. It's like, oh my god, this is
Yeah.
crazy. No, that's completely normal.
Yeah.
But then you have to explain it to her, and then you have to sort of instill. I don't know. You have to be careful, but you have to sort of teach them good values and
Yeah.
instill your good values into her, and that's your missus would have to take care of that and sort of like explain.
Yeah.
Same thing as when they're growing up. Why do I know so much about this? I don't have
You're
any
a
kids.
beautiful man, Stojy.
I might have had
you're
some in
getting
my,
ready.
This
in my young
is
days.
a guy with a girl and then two sons, and then the objective.
Yeah.
I have no kids, but you're objectively speaking.
But
it's true.
From the
I
outside
would
looking in.
imagine that when your kids are growing up, so especially with boys, so you teach them about puberty, so when it goes through and then getting erections, masturbation, all that type of stuff, and the feelings that they're getting, you'd have to explain that to your child, and you can only go through what you've experienced, and then if you've had fucked up experiences, well then you have to go, okay, now I need to go learn myself so I can educate my children. And if you have a daughter, so for yourself, or the female or the father would have to go, okay, now they're going through puberty, they got their period, the breasts are growing, they're starting to become more feminine, all that natural stuff. When, I don't even know, like, I was always imagining, like, when do you have the conversation about when do you start shaving your legs, your arms? What's that conversation
usually
like?
mum.
If
The
they
mum-
do,
the mum
I know,
is
but
there
the
for
thing
that.
is, if in your case there,
I had to learn, yeah.
if the mum's not there and it's you, I don't know,
That's
what
what
do
I've
you
been doing
do?
7 years, dude. Well, she's.
I don't know how to have that
I just put the the stuff there and say they're there. Just to let you know I'm here if you want to speak to
Dad,
me.
how do I
I'm not going to
use
go,
this?
hey, let's sit and talk.
Yeah.
Because she'll get embarrassed.
My dad
It depends on the relationship. Sorry, it depends on the
I
relationship.
gotcha. I just remembered something there. My old man never even taught me how to shave.
No, dude, I didn't get taught
My
shit.
mum taught me how to shave, bro.
Oh, Harry Henderson, the giraffe, teach me. What is that?
Fucking
Healthy
Healthy Harold.
Fucking, the kid's got school stuff, but like I said, YouTube. Ari came home and told me he learned about sex. He's 12. My son. He's like, we
learned
learned
from a young
today about
age.
how blah blah blah. I'm like, all right. And he goes, well, and that was it.
Yeah.
But if you got to be open enough for them to be able to talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the key thing. You
You
have to
know
be
what I
open up, and we as adults have to, and that's with children, with everyone else in the family, people on the street. You have to be open enough so that if there's an issue or someone wants to chat, you can reciprocate that. And you can be open enough for them.
Well, is it like my daughter might snap? She's going for snapping my son. That's nothing. It's just her body's changing.
It's
right?
normal.
Yeah, and this is no. So I just explain. I explain. I don't go, hey, this is what's happening, blah blah blah. But I sort of just explain things as they go. But we never got that. I never got that, man.
You have to play an active.
I never found out.
Yeah, you have to play an active role in your children's lives. That's what the key thing is.
Of course.
You have to play an active role. And you want to give them the best possible. So that's why we take what we have and then we instill that and we go further. And that's what it is.
And break the chain. Of,
Yes,
of
if there is
the
one.
trauma.
Yeah.
Generational
Doesn't
trauma.
mean all trauma has to be I got beat. It could still be.
That's not trauma.
No,
it depends how bad.
It could be trauma, as in, like, for example, with I went through this with a similar thing with my old man, and it's gotten a little bit better since. But trauma is in, like, when I was young, I always wanted an answer, but you always gave me the because I said so thing. But I, as a kid, that knowing myself back then, feel like I had the mental capacity to want the respect to be explained to, and didn't really appreciate because I said so. Do you know what I mean? Explain it to me.
Because I said so. Yeah, that was it. Nothing was explained, man.
No, and I always feel like with my sons now, I want to be able to foster an environment where I can sit and explain things to them. But obviously, as they say, you get to a point, like, for example, where you'll just be in such a shit mood when you come home that he'll be like, yeah, we're going to do
That's fine. But that's fine.
And that's it. But obviously that's another thing that I had got off, was that the not unchecked emotional outrages where I don't feel like I want to have outbursts in front of the kids. You want to feel like you're very in control. And that's going back to Marcus.
I was just going to say
back
that.
to Marcus Aurelius.
Just going to say that.
He said you've got to weather the storm. You can't, you know what I mean? Go on, Stoj, go on.
I need to, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
but
absolutely. Go for
one thing is you still have to show your children what it's like to have an outburst.
Yeah, of course.
And how you go for it. You can't just say, I am in control.
No.
Yes, honey, no, I'll talk to you later about that, please. And you don't want that mentality. Sometimes you'll snap and you go, shut up. You know, it's not a tuma or something. Like you'll snap. You have to snap because that's human emotion. Because the thing is, if you always do that and you don't educate them after that, like you don't go to the next step saying, hey, I'm sorry I snapped because I had a bad day. This is going on. Okay. Then your children are going to learn, they're going to learn like outburst, rage. They don't know why it's coming or why it exists, and they won't know how to process it themselves. So you can't just be a completely weather the storm and just a very gentle, calm parent. Maybe you can, but
no, you're right.
On my idea, I'm not going to be like that.
No.
I think if you do, then you say, I'm sorry, and then you have a chat with them after, and you tell them like what real life is. And if you have an outburst, it's okay. Just don't turn into an untamed fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, mate, can I just say with my arm, it dropped real quick, right? Or quicker, and I was getting frustrated. It was 3 weeks I had them on and off anyway, and I started getting frustrated. Didn't take it out on them, but I was getting upset. And then I remember having outbursts. You're not like they had to start helping because I couldn't do stuff, man.
Yeah, well,
and I didn't know what to ask them because I didn't have no one there to go help your father. I still had to do washing and stuff. I went to a point where I remember I explained to them, guys, I know this week I was a bit frustrated, and I explained that. You know what? And my daughter's like, that's all right, Dad, we know. Dude.
How awesome is that?
And it was beautiful, mate.
That's beautiful.
Because at the end of the week, I explained to them, I'm getting frustrated, I'm going to need a bit of help. It's really tough, and I explain how degrading it is, you know. You want to be that father figure, right? That strong character.
How beautiful is that for her to say, Dad, we know?
Yeah, man.
You've done a fantastic job.
It was nice, mate.
Fantastic.
And they started to help too, dude.
Yeah,
and they started to help. I'm using this now for them to start the next level of them helping, you know, doing more in-house. Obstacles the way, dude.
Hey?
Obstacles the way, mate.
Well, absolutely. Without the obstacles, it's just, where do you learn and where's the growth without them? You know?
That's it.
But it's also one key thing is it's not just for like our families and children. It's actually people in lives like friends as well. Even if you're at work, like I snapped one on Friday at one of my co-workers, but I manage them. And I snapped and I felt bad afterwards. So then I said to the other two that I manage as well, I said to them, just before I was a bit much, I apologize. I'm going through a lot. And one thing that I want is if I tell you to do something that's important, I need you to follow through. I need you to go, as that works, professional business. So if we give a task the way it is, I need you to follow through to the end and deliver that portion. Otherwise, it's a lot on my plate.
But you owned it.
I did. And then I went and apologized to him afterwards. I gave him a tape measure. Then I took it back off him because it was a nice tape measure. But the thing is, you have to, what we talk about doing with our kids, you have to do this everywhere. So even like, because it's, you know, you could,
people, man.
you know, that's what I want to say.
No, that's good, but it's how you treat people.
Sorry?
You know? Yeah, it's how you treat people.
Them. Yeah, that's it.
Like you imagine if everyone had that mentality and you get out on the street, no one will be telling people off. There'll be no road rage. There'll be nothing, man. Maybe a bit of road rage.
If someone had hovering above them what they had just been through. Like, do you know how many, like, I'll tell you something in confidence right now. I'm not saying who it is. I doubt this fellow will watch.
It's a secret, tell us.
It's a secret, and here it is.
Barbershop secret.
I've had guys come in, obviously, that have sat down, and they're in the barbering industry, and let's obviously make it a bit barber related, right? You are the equivalent of the what do you call it? The beacon that you plug your electric car into. People come in not just to get a haircut, but they're plugging in. Man, they're here for you to make them feel better 95% of the time. You do get guys that come in there and just go on their phone. They're there for a service. Just like the guy that, goes, waiter, here's your food, photo. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thanks, yeah, whatever. And that's it. Yeah. You do get those people. At the end of the day, you are providing a service.
Strons.
But
they're strons, man.
They're strons. But then you get the people that are coming there, you don't even do I've done a haircut where even my worst haircuts are still 8s out of 10s. And I've left thinking, man, I could have done better. But they don't fucking care because you've totally...
They've let stuff out.
They've let stuff out. So I had one of my customers come in last week. He's been one of my oldest ones. He's been with me since I was an apprentice. Beautiful. I've been doing him since I was an apprentice. Beautiful. And this guy always pays more. He always tips. But not because my work is exceptional. He's got just as much as hair as I do. It's just because we just a mutual appreciation of each other. You're always here when I need you, and you're always here when I need you. If you serve me, then I'll serve you. All for one for all. Do you know what I mean? And then he comes in out of nowhere and he goes, man, I just got divorced. Oof. And that obviously might not seem like a big thing to people, but he was like, his body language was like he got a young kid, and for the last 10 years I've been doing his hair. He's been married. He's just got divorced. And then obviously your ears prick up and you think, I want to start prying, but not because I want, drama. It's because
you want to help him out.
What happened? Like, what can I do? But you don't want to divulge because you don't want to seem like you're interested. And just his body language and stuff. And then, he walks out and he goes, man, like a customer that I've known for ages is just got fucking divorced. And he's sitting there and there's that silence as a wasp there. Fuck it, I didn't get in here.
Don't worry, bro. I'll watch it for you. Keep on talking.
I thought that was part of the story.
Then a wasp flew in and bit us. The allergic reaction. No,
yeah, beautiful.
And,
let him go. Elon Musk's wasp.
Making me really nervous.
Spine on
actually.
you.
Are you allergic to wasps?
Nah, I just don't want to.
Yeah, how did it come in? No, it's all right. It won't come.
Don't worry about it. He's all right. I'll watch him for you.
All right,
dude, we got wasps everywhere in Hawkesbury.
All right, I'll watch him for you. Keep on going.
Yeah, keep going. So, okay. So
oh no, I lost him.
Hand on your neck.
You're a fucking cunt.
Sorry, bro.
Did he tell you? Did you get it out of him?
I just said, it's one of those things that makes you feel a little bit bad. How was your Christmas? What happened? Yeah, it was good. What else has been going on? Oh, I got divorced. I'm like,
oh shit.
Fuck, whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
But then, you don't want to pry into it. But then you go through that silence where you're cutting and you're like, well, I just got to ask.
Yeah, dude.
Where are you mentally? Are you doing all right? Yeah, it's okay. I'm finding a new place, going out with the boys. And every haircut he's had since, he's been a bit more optimistic. I'm going out again. I've got my own place. Because his dad comes in as well. And but then this was the hard hitter. There's a really popular dude that has a very popular business in the construction kind of arena. And he comes in and he walks up. And I just said to him, mate, how you been? What's been going on? He comes in for a long time. I've done his hair before. He's a big fella. Really, like, been in his injury for 45 years. And I said, mate, so how you been? How you going? He goes, mate, not good. I've got to be honest, not good. And there's almost no occasion where someone actually sits down and actually says, I'm not doing good. They'll obviously give you the whole, I'm okay, dip and twirl, whatever.
This is important.
Yeah, because no one wants to sit down and go, like, I'm doing bad. Because it's like, you've just ruined the whole thing. But then no joke, he goes, so I said, so what's been going on? He goes, mate, my son just killed himself. And then my heart dropped. And I was like,
fuck.
What do you say to that, man?
Well, what do you say to someone who says my son just killed himself? So I said,
sorry, bro.
So I said, well, like that's fucking terrible. I said, like, what was he sick or was he cancer? Was he terminal? He goes, nah. We just came home and found that he'd killed himself. And then I said, man, what is it with boys today? Why are they doing this to themselves?
How old was he?
I was 24.
Being bullied or love? Or confused. Some sort of confusion.
Who the hell knows? And this guy goes, mate,
there's a lot of
I
that shit,
cry every day.
Of course.
I've been crying every day since. And he was just telling me with a straight face as I'm talking to you now, stuff that people should be telling you, breaking down in tears.
How do you say that? Have your child like that? Have your child die but kill himself?
Well, he prefaced his conversation by saying, we're selling up, we're moving away, I'm selling my business, which is here in the Northern Beaches. And I said, why? He goes, well, because my son's just done this. I've got nothing else going for me now. I'm going to move out of Sydney and move away, live on a property and just live the rest of my life in peace. And then he goes, mate, I'm about to break down. Can we please talk about something else? But he said it in the same monotone. Yeah. And then so what's in the year of January, what is there to ask clients? How was your New Year? How was your Christmas? What did you do? And I already know exactly what happened. So I just said, so how's the move going? Are you finding it okay? And then we done it. He was very happy, very generous. Thanks for the haircut, man. All good. And then he walked away and I was just like, completely internalized it. I went home and my baby's crying and my son's running around and I just thought, fuck, bro. Like, what do you got to complain? What do you do? And this is the thing. This is the stuff you got to do with at work. It's not really about haircuts, is it?
That's counselling.
No, 100%.
It is.
My job's counselling too. Yeah. Labour hire.
Can you explain exactly it is what you do?
Labour hire.
Recruitment.
We got workers, blue collar.
And so you're dealing with a lot of guys,
immigrants,
immigrants,
like Africans,
hard workers,
Filipinos, man. That's the ones that work.
Yeah,
they want to work.
Well, we don't like in sort of industry, but building or steel industry and forklift drivers, a lot of metal construct, like boilermakers and welders. But the industry is going down a bit, man.
Labour hire because there is no one
Well,
to hire?
the Labor government, Stojy's favourite government, the
I
Labor
love it. I
government
love it.
has destroyed the workforce. Basically, they want all workers off casuals and onto the books to get their taxes and super and everything.
So they're trying to kill all the cash
So they kill the
workers
casuals, the cash flow, the labour hire companies. Now we've got to
Let's-
release the guys
all right.
within a month.
Let's discuss what's really going on,
it's
which
fucked,
is we're actually in a
basically.
recession. No one talks about that. The
We are.
economy's gone to shit, and they're
Yeah.
just fluffing and lying to us the whole time. There's no money, there's no cash flow. They're cutting everything. That's why.
Of course.
Before, when there was money, who cares, bro? Bring it
Yeah.
easy. Now there's no
Yeah.
money. Fuck, we
Cutting
got to
everything,
to
dude.
cut.
Oh, and they're taking advantage of it and just making everything very expensive just for no reason.
well,
and
they're-
blaming
On
it
purpose, on
blaming it
purpose.
let's just
Agenda
preface-
2030.
Let's go-
Everything everything we talk
Californian
about that
fires?
governments do is
Oh.
all on purpose.
Sorry, Stod. Sorry.
fires.
Okay. This is so.
This is a big rabbit hole to go down. So just say
Well,
everything
yeah.
concisely.
Okay,
and
look at-
get straight to the point.
Well, look at the fires, for example.
Okay,
Like, they're the
okay.
biggest crock of shit out.
Uh,
LA fires.
and the Maui ones too.
It started the Maui.
Turned
Maoris.
off the water.
Huh?
Turned off the
No
water.
water.
They don't have insurance.
no
now?
insurance.
No insurance
No
is the biggest one,
insurance.
bro.
Yeah.
And they made and how they got through is when they renewed the insurance. They didn't know the renewal did take that off. So whoever
Yes.
got the insurance, so that was the one.
How did
And
they
then
know?
the thing is, but you start with filling the fire brigade with lesbians, trans, and everything.
There's people that can't do anything.
Because when
essentially.
they go to the water hydrant, there's no water. As a man, would probably work out an option or work. I don't know, but these ones are going. Oh wow!
But having
You
said
know?
that, there's no water. There's an extremely woke body of firefighters. But having said that, in the same breath, you've sent how many millions of dollars to the front lines in Ukraine?
17 they took out of the budget apparently.
But
And-
they
and-
spent billions to Ukraine.
Yeah.
But also, this
'Cause it goes
is
to their
hey,
pockets.
the fires didn't just start yesterday. They've been going on for years.
There've always been
And years.
wildfires there.
I live in the Blue Mountains. First thing we know is there's bushfires here. Look
bushfires.
after your fucking property.
Yeah.
Of course.
Check your insurance to make sure.
Yeah.
And if you want to be adequately insured, you check it. You read your PDS. You should, and you pay whatever the rate is. But you look at you make sure the water's there. The fire brigade gives you updates on what's going on here. It's just like there's no more water. Where's the water? If it's been burning for years, you think that you'd be going to your local government, going to the council, going to Governor Newsom and saying, hey, we need dams here. There should have been a lobby, but no one was looking at this stuff. So what's going
It's an
on?
excuse for the smart cities, mate.
But it's also, for smart cities and for the World Cup and for the Olympics.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
then-
what it
and then
is.
Also, I heard there's a bit of evidence in the wake of the whole Diddy Gate thing that now these fires have completely destroyed
Maybe.
evidence.
Because
Yeah.
baby oil burns.
Yeah, but they found tunnels. Hit the tunnel one. They found tunnels.
I
Under
would,
the
I would
mansion
not be
and stuff.
surprised if all
Tunnels,
the stuff
man,
they
where they did
found,
all the pedophilia, the trade of the
or they
ladies.
trafficked
mate.
all the kids.
Look, everything.
They find Harry Styles' body or whichever.
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
was his name? What was the One Direction dude that they killed?
Yeah, who they killed?
Oh,
Harry
I don't even
Styles?
know, bro. No, that wasn't Styles. It was another one.
No, it was
My
another one.
apologies to his family, but I don't know.
No,
I don't like
so
One
I know
Direction.
that Zayn Malik left in 2014 to go join ISIS, and then there was.
He joined ISIS.
Oh, that was the joke.
Oh, okay. Fuck. I was gonna
and then
say.
the other guy had a solo career, and this guy went solo too. I don't know what happened to Niall. Niall had one, and then what was this guy's name? It wasn't Liam.
There you go.
Payne.
Liam.
He's the one
Thanks, Jamie.
That had an interview. Thanks, Jamie. He had an interview that where he was talking about Diddy. That's been coming up on on the feed now, and the interviewer kind of almost cuts him off in a sense, saying, "All right, yeah, let's not go there." And then he's dead a few days later, but in the most ridiculous way. He fell off a balcony or something stupid.
Look, it's
like
all
that,
circumstantial, but it's all happened
Oprah's going
just like, huh?
Oprah's going down too.
Yeah, what I wanted to quickly get onto was just like Bill Clinton's aides, how they got shotgun blasted at chest, bro. Come on, like they're slowly all dying. Obama's workers and his personal chef, like it
Oh,
always
that
happens.
stuff, yes, yeah, the drowning.
You know,
It's just very poor acting, isn't it?
Yeah, but that shows they don't care, mate. They're already planning. Is it Newsom's already planning to get the money and rebuild?
but he also wants to run for president in 2028.
But he seemed like the Joker. He's smiling.
You see, if that's why we have this podcast here, so we can freely openly discuss these, and it's all circumstantial, nothing's proven, but we're allowed to discuss these things. And if you open up your mind, your eyes, and you start questioning, things will start coming out. What's going on? You know what I mean?
100%. Well, what is going on has always been going on, but at the end of the day, we're not questioning what's going on. We're questioning the who, what, the when, the why, the
Yeah,
how.
true.
And how that, we're obviously told, we're obviously given a reason by the government-sponsored news corporations. But at the end of the day, I just don't think many people are buying it now.
No one cares, man.
Well, firstly, no one cares. But secondly, just when you turn on the cult of the Today Show, and it's just there chummy, yeah, today fucking, you know, what do you call it? You know, Beth Big Tits is out here in the Blue Mountains, and she's there. Hi guys, I'm at the Cockatoo Sanctuary. Here's the weather for today.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm there straight away.
Oh, whatever. And then you got the two idiots there, you know, and there's so much
scripted.
stuff.
They don't question. They don't question. Not real journalists. Real journalists should put themselves on a line. We're about to get arrested, killed, or God knows what. You know, you need to go to that point to find out the truth.
Tucker, mate.
Tucker Carlson,
were
you guys during COVID even following what Avi on Revel News?
I was following
I knew of him, no.
But have you seen his stuff now? Now he's just doing this massive Jew victim mentality now. Which I get it. Like, obviously, if you're him and this is your identity, well, then you stand up for what you believe in. But before, during COVID, he was so much more, you know, giving the facts, was balanced. But now he's just going, he's just so pro-Israel, which is fine. But it's
he's Jewish. He's from Israel.
It's very biased.
He fell for it. Yeah, but he fell for it. He was heading down a path, and this Israel-Palestinian thing is
it's a massive distraction, man.
It separated heaps of people. But that's, again, segregation.
Massive distraction.
Segregation, mate, of the collapse.
You know, I just
part
wish
of it.
he covered it unbiased.
Yeah,
it wasn't so like...
If you look at what's really good, if you look into a bit further, so now you see Syria's fallen.
Well, what's his name? Assad's gone.
Yeah, okay. He's an eye surgeon. He was actually an eye surgeon. So if you look at it, like, who goes into that field of medicine, fixing people's eyes, and they're really that much of a bad person? I don't know.
Well, his dad was there before him, eh?
And I'm thinking, like, the guy was an eye surgeon. Like, surely he's got some compassionate bone within his body. And then after that, where's it going? You're going Iran. So it's, if you look at the manifesto for what was written from Israel, and I'm just paraphrasing here, it's the clearing up of and the fall of all of those empires around there and all those governments and toppling them. And they're almost there.
That's in the Bible, isn't it?
And here's another thing for you. So you got former Yugoslavia, and obviously I'm going to be biased because I'm Serbian Macedonian. But just imagine you had Yugoslavia and you had Russia within arm's reach of each other in that part of Europe. You can't have two dominant powers like that. So you can see how they toppled Yugoslavia. They took Kosovo. Okay, other people have their own opinions, that's fine. But you can see how this is all playing out. And then when I finally realized, when a penny dropped for me, what NATO was, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, whatever the last one is, but it's the treaty. So it's another way for America to further themselves in Europe. You have no fucking jurisdiction in Europe. You're in America. But you create these treaties and you create these problems so you can go further and take away and dismantle and control.
And then I also feel like going to some of these countries that are very old monarchies, and to me, if they're going somewhere to establish democracy, they're just going somewhere to establish just very, very, very good storefront just for corruption, but it's democracy. So we're going to do a good thing, but not, because you can see even this country, how democracy with two-party system can be so easily corrupted. Yeah. And I can see it in this way, right? So right now I'm reading this book that'll go up on my book review as soon as I'm done. It's called The Sign and the Seal by Graham Hancock. And it's an investigative thing that he done over 30 years ago.
Oh, it was an older one.
About the Ark of the Covenant in Ethiopia. About how Menelik the First, the son of the Queen of Sheba and Solomon, he took the Ark from Israel and brought it to Ethiopia. And that the people, the entourage that accompanied that caravan through Egypt and all the way through into Lake Tana in Ethiopia were the original Jews. And that's because you know that there have been Jews in Ethiopia for as long as they've been in the Promised Land. They've been there forever. And so what I'm saying is Haile Selassie was the last emperor of Ethiopia that could claim Solomonic rule lineage, right? A descendant of Solomon, like the 200 and something removed grandson or whatever you could say. And then they had a communist revolution there, I think in the 70s. And then they toppled the monarchy and then brought it into like a democracy or whatever it was. It doesn't go into it too much, but they brought it into like a normal government like we have now. And then, but why do that though? Because I feel like now you've got the whole world involved and you've totally removed this religious, old, esoteric-backed monarchy. And the people like the Rastafarians revere him. They see him as the Messiah in Jamaica. And then they put in this thing now, and every time you see a country have this kind of reform or they overthrow the old whatever, you don't feel like things never really ever get better. Do you know what I mean? Now they say, like when all the colonies, when India threw out the British, all the British colonial buildings were dilapidated, and India is essentially, to quote the vlogger Bold and Bankrupt, if you ever watched him,
yeah, I have.
He goes, India's just a failed state. And as soon as the British left, and obviously they left it in a form of disarray, they drew that line through India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
And then, but he goes, I just let the buildings decay, and when you leave it to them, well, it just falls apart. Obviously, there's more to it than that. But I just kind of feel like, man, as soon as you install those institutions, people have independence.
Do you reckon they're doing it now, though, with Christianity and stuff?
With Christianity?
Or with the new religion coming through. Man.
Which new religion?
It's like they're pushing... Oh.
What new
It's
religion?
like they're pushing out... they're pushing out the new... Like you're saying Solomon, whatever. They can hide. They can start... You know what I mean? They can crush the original beliefs and all the morals and stuff and then create their own. AI's coming in, dude.
That's a new religion. That's going to be a new religion.
Seriously. That's the new religion.
Well, it's a great tool if you could utilize it properly. Like
gonna take
I
over.
use it all the time.
Yeah, I do. I use
all
ChatGPT.
creators use it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if William Shakespeare back in the day had AI, he would have helped it write his plays.
It's an amazing
You
tool.
know?
But is it taking over, though?
It will take over.
It will take over, but then again,
will.
like it depends in what capacity. I mean, the AI talk is borderline when someone's talking about cars. I'm like, okay, look, AI, yes. Can it be very helpful? Yes. It's helped me. But it said, but it's not your own words. It's doing everything for you. I said, all right, but that's what an editor does essentially. You'll write a book, an editor will see it, which you change this, and this. What's the difference with an AI doing it instead of a person? But it depends like how much of it. It depends of it how much of it really you know it can make you stupid.
It can make...
but also...
Computers have made me stupid from writing. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
My writing's turned to shit.
Do your kids still write? Do your kids write? Or are they all typing?
To be honest, my daughter's writing's great. She writes my birthday cards and
Beautiful.
Christmas cards.
That's such a girl thing, though, eh?
Yeah, that's a girl thing. She loves it.
Here's the thing for you. So,
But no,
now we're going
not
to
as much.
digital signatures. So you're losing the art form of putting your own signature down on paper.
Even that.
Art form of actually writing a journal with your own handwriting. Like
Notes.
writing a handwriting.
I use my comments. Calendar.
Exactly. I write on paper, and I don't want to lose that.
I still like doing that before I type. Write it
Exactly.
first
Yeah.
and then do it.
Exactly. So the other thing is now, when you had to do your own research before, you had to go read and actually research. Now you ask AI, it gives you the answer. For me, when I type it into, it gives me fucking what an answer, bro. Like, oh my God. But I've gone through the hard yards of having to read multiple books to find something. And the thing is, now the newer generation, when they come through, and the generation after that, they're going to go straight to AI. It's going to give them exactly that, nothing else. You're not going to go to the library anymore. You're not going to go read 100 books and say, hold on a second. I was studying, Marcus Aurelius to find this, but Machiavelli said this. You start going down that path, and you start going reading those books, and you start finding another part of history. So it's stopping that, just giving you exactly here. You're not going any further. You're not digging any deeper, and you're not going to be seeking anymore. And that's what's going on. They don't want you to ask questions.
Truth seekers,
That's it. No truth seekers, mate.
It's happening with driving. Oh, my daughter's going to drive in about a year and a half, maybe. Oh, yeah?
God help us.
But I would love to teach her
Another
manual.
female driver.
That's it, mate.
I love to teach a manual, but what's the point?
You need to teach her.
Klaus said,
Fuck Klaus.
there's going to be, they want Uber AI things rocking up. This is the future.
Resist it.
Drones
By 2045,
Amazon
resist it.
packages.
Of course you're going to resist it. So do I get it to drive a manual car? But what manual cars are you going to get? Auto?
Teach her how to drive an old school, mate, so at least she knows, bro.
That's just like riding. See? What's the point?
I can't believe you're even thinking about that. You need to teach her manual.
You
You
reckon?
need to.
Fuck, I don't know manual.
I know.
We had an
I miss
automatic.
manual,
We
man.
grew up on an automatic car,
You
so
see,
we all
they're
learned an
they're
automatic
20s,
car.
dude.
Oh, because you guys got a few years on me. The only car that we had that was
Manual, mate.
manual was my dad's like Mitsubishi Triton from like the 90s.
All right,
With, like,
all right.
a
You're
light
forgiven. You're forgiven.
that, but then again, like we had a big soccer mum van. There's 5 of us.
Yeah, right.
We got to teach 5 kids fucking manual.
No, okay, gotcha. It's good to learn manual, even like a push bike or something.
So where were you any writing, mate? Even typing, mate? It'll be thoughts.
Typewriter. Tick, tick, tick,
There'll be
tick, tick,
thoughts
tick.
in the
How
future.
about, do you know what's going to go back to? So now there's going to be quantum computers.
Oh, here we go, quantum.
computers are going to be breaking every single code.
Yeah.
So nothing's going to be secret. So you know what they're going to start doing? They're going to go back to the old school, which is they're going to be setting handwritten notes. They're going to have, it's going to go like to digital money, but they're going to go back to paper money. They're going to go back to bullion because you can't crack that. So this is all going to turn into a shitstorm
You
later.
reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I reckon. Watch. They're going to be pushing us into that where they can manipulate and control, and yet they're going to take a step back and they're going to be going a different way where other governments can't crack what they're doing.
Yeah, okay.
But then again, you're also preparing for the society and whatever, in my opinion, is preparing for skills for a certain type of future. But then again, that's a future that only works if there's electricity and internet.
Yeah.
So when we've just had these storms that have just rocked Sydney now, what do people do as soon as that goes off?
Fucking bro, a perfect example, a fucking tree fell on my shed today as I was driving here. So you know what's the first thing on my...
Tell us a tree story, please, Dodge.
but
We've been waiting.
in
That was a
saying
long
that-
time coming.
No, in saying that, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go fucking cut it up. I've got firewood, mate. I've got firewood. I've got a fireplace. If
Yeah, but-
electricity goes out
But you
in
don't
winter...
know what's under that.
Sorry?
You don't know if it lost stuff.
If I what?
Things might be crushed in your on your shed.
Don't worry about the.
What about the rat? What
I
about
can't
the rat?
change. You know what? I can't change it. I was stressing on the way here, saying I've got this, I've got that, I've got
could
that.
see, dude.
And now it's sort of like, it is what it is, bro. It's crushed. It's not crushed. And honestly, I've lived a life where I would be stressing before I even figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm torturing myself. You know, that's of a possibility. And then if it happens, I torture myself again. And if it doesn't happen, I torture myself for nothing. So it's sort of like it's okay.
Have you handled it better, this one?
A little bit better because I'm here with you guys. I was about to drive home.
I could see you were very tense and you brought flowers?
No, I was tense because you guys
What
had
are they?
pizza before I got here.
Yeah, but fuck, you got
No, the flowers, I brought flowers
2:30.
because I respect this man and his family.
It's beautiful, mate.
Okay? And God bless it.
He's got a
That's all we need
beautiful
to do.
family, mate.
We need to bring that back, buy flowers.
Yeah.
I've never bought flowers for the missus or my mum, but
Such
I
a
will.
nice
Yeah,
thing,
that's beautiful. He's a beautiful man, isn't he,
Yes.
Stojy?
Yeah.
And this is what I say when I rocked up here, Aidan's family is beautiful. To
Yes,
support
they
him
are.
with all this, we've all said it. The support you get from your family, mate, is just absolutely beautiful.
that's-
Have it
this
at your
is-
barbershop here.
This is what
Right.
this is what it's about, bud. This is what it's about. Families
Family, mate,
supporting each other and not this English way. Kids, go make your own way off.
Yeah.
Nah, mate.
Nah, the Anglo way.
I don't
nah,
agree with that.
It's not. It's not.
I like this. I like
This is a
this
great
run.
spot, isn't it?
Hey, when
We
are
should put the
coming
cameras
back?
the other
When
way
are we
next
coming- Ah,
Yeah, I could sit here all day. Seriously, like, or
It's a
have
cool place.
basically.
It's a cool place to hang out.
Oh, look
I
at this
mean,
one. Oh, look at this nono. Look at him. Look at this local nono. He's been here. He's got a bad posture, dude. See, this is the thing. I don't want that. Telephones. See the lean over? These young kids now doing this.
They're gonna get like a hunch growing out of their thing.
They are, but
A-
also
a Quasimodo.
you're going to
hunch.
lose your peripheral vision.
Yes.
You're going to lose your peripheral vision.
Your attention span will be absolutely cooked.
Exactly.
As well, like now you can't talk to them about anything because they're just jittery.
I need to get my
because-
fix on Instagram. Instagram,
No,
I gotta like, I
absolutely.
gotta like.
So can you stop
stimulation.
it though? You can't stop.
Of course you
Just
can
don't
stop
buy
it.
Don't
Well,
buy
of
it.
course you can stop
Don't
it,
buy
yeah.
that stuff. My kids are good
But why are they good, Daniel?
because at my house I have none of that stuff.
No,
They got mobile phones, but I tell them, hey, your mobile phone, there's no need. Why have you got your phone for? What do you need it for? But what it is, and I've explained this before, we'll be watching TV and I'll grab mine to check something because Stojy's left me a voicemail, how much he loves me and stuff, you know, Nick's messaging me stuff. No, I grab my phone and then I see my daughter get up and go to the bedroom to check hers. I'm like, see, lead by example. Dude.
yeah, but that's also with him when that shows that like that. So like if you get like a group of people together, like us three here, whoever's watching this video, when you do the editing, watch. Some person shifts, the other person will shift. You grab a
Yeah.
drink, I'll grab mine.
Yeah.
You touch your mic, I'll
That's
shift
right.
mine. It's just we're
Yeah.
in sync.
Yeah.
So that'll happen as well.
Yeah.
But
But that's where I've got to not grab the phone, right? So if I don't want her
you
to
know,
be addicted.
but she's allowed to grab her phone to check it.
course
You know,
she is,
she's
of
got some
course.
friends there. They sent her a message.
But there's no need.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
There's no need.
I'm
Because,
just trying
because
to
when's the
defend
time? Yeah, but when's the time for phone? Like, it was like late, 8 o'clock, 8:30.
it. Still, things, mate. Internet doesn't
Are
stop.
you doing your parenting alone? Like, is your
Yeah.
parents is your kid's mum not super
No, it's
present,
different,
or
man. You know,
it's difficult.
It's different. Different.
You wanna
when
divulge?
you divorce, when you separate for a
Extrapolate?
while, 7 years, it becomes
That was 7 years ago when that happened.
yeah, 7 years
Okay.
ago.
It
So
was a
you
while
sort
ago.
of
Your kids were young.
The way the way she does things is her thing. You know what I mean? So it starts to sort of they start become different, totally different, right? You're not together, or you're not shielding or protecting or hiding or arguing over certain
There's
things.
not-
You know.
There's not enough spotlight on the whole. It's all single mum, blah, blah, blah. I have
Yeah.
a lot of blokes come in here, and I tell you what, straight away how biased the family courts are.
Oh, dude.
Women, there's no
heard
repercussions
stories,
for
bro.
women
I've heard
for
stories.
lying. And don't get me wrong. This is a barbershop and this is a show for women too, but we're in technically what is traditionally the men's domain. And let me be the first to say there are a lot of cocksucker guys out there.
Of course.
a lot of bad husbands, but let's be honest. Let's address the elephant in the room, the femme fatale, the deadly woman. All right. I've heard some stories in here, man, of just how as soon as the kid's born, as soon as the parents are divorced, suddenly it's not about the kid. It's just about absolute raw vengeance on the husband.
What can I get from you? How can I hurt? How can I stop you from connecting with the kids? That's all it becomes, man.
But it's got to be more of like something deeper than that, because you know what I found the natural stopping point is for this vindictiveness when women try and get to their husband and neglect the child to make his life hell is as soon as they get another boyfriend, then it stops because whatever void they needed filled is being filled.
It's the punching bag.
Yeah.
They need the punching bag. If it's not the ex-husband, it's the son or whatever. If not, it's the boyfriend. Then the boyfriend comes and then they're happy.
And they're happy again.
And
It's
then
non-acceptance, non-acceptance as well.
It's punching bag, but it's the upbringing too. It goes back to finding that inner peace. You know what I mean? Sometimes people need a punching bag, and it becomes the one that you
need to be.
You know,
one.
and it becomes if they got daddy issues, the husband or even the son, whatever becomes the punching.
I love
bag.
daddy issues.
Yeah, me too. I love daddy issues.
Capitalise on them very
That's
well.
it.
You know what I mean? Like,
Tell me about
and
it.
that goes for men with mummy issues as well. It's just how it is.
I have
It all
some mummy.
comes
I've
down
got
to
some. I love
parenting.
my mum.
That's why you're beautiful,
I
man.
love
That's why
my
you
mum.
bring flowers. You've
That's
been
it,
brought
man.
up well,
Yeah.
Stodge.
That's it.
Well, what?
You know,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
got to love your mum, man. This is the
That's
thing.
it.
You got to love your mum. But some mums aren't the best.
No,
You
they're
know,
not.
I've got a great.
You got to
mum.
love your parents. You got to respect
Got a
that.
few-
You got to respect that you have parents.
few Marie Barones out there.
Oh well, they
You
throw
ever
their
watch
shit on
Everyone
the
Loves
kids.
Raymond? Oh, man.
I love her.
She's the
man.
best, man. And
She
Frank.
reminds me of my auntie.
Frank.
You gotta respect
love
your
George's
parents,
mum the
man.
best.
I
George's
didn't.
mum.
My man
Don't
wasn't
have to
the best.
like them, but
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah. Look, everyone. There's different situations out there, but I was angry at my old man for years, and now it's at the point now. It's like, what for? And then when I started to accept the differences, accept who he is, I started to have more appreciation, love, and even more love in my life.
I was going to say it makes it better. It's like releasing
You have to.
that because it's not. He's who he is. He's done what he's
That's
done.
it.
It's not. You can't take that on board, and that's what I've learned from it as well. You know?
You need to look at it.
It's how you perceive it,
You have
right?
to, yeah, it always is. And trauma isn't in. It's like not like, oh, that was a traumatic situation. You might see something happened to them, and you think there's going to be trauma. Like, no, I just looked at it. I accepted it, and I looked at it from a different point of view. And I was able to move on from it. Other people, you know, I got slapped as a kid. Oh, that's so traumatic. Where other ones like, I got slapped, and look at me now, I'm a billionaire.
Did you deserve it? Yeah, probably. I only got smacked if you deserved it. There was no smacking because Dad had to pent up energy that he needed to release on you. No, if
That's
we,
bad.
we
Yeah.
ever got smacked,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
because we did something that
Yeah.
needed rearing.
But it's also a bit of pent up energy sometimes, like it, and it probably felt good for fucking do it again.
Yeah, fucking little shit. You remind me of,
Yeah.
you know.
you
remind me of your mum.
Of your mum that left me.
Nah, that's funny, but still, that's slack.
They do.
I know.
I know someone
I
that
know.
he reminded her of the dad, you know, and she's got the shits. That's why he's a punching bag, dude.
But if
That
the dad,
happens a lot, man.
dominated him.
And there's the thing, you say single dads, like, yeah, for me, it was a lot. Like, you know, you sort of, you don't
Well, you
get
said
that.
you are a single dad.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I am. A household. It's a lot of work. dude.
Well, if you can, like, you know, nail it down to the 4 or 5 major challenges that if you said single dads out there, this is what you need to know.
Okay.
What would you tell them?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Well, I had to find.
be
I've
the
said this before.
spokesperson for all single dads.
I had to find. I couldn't be that hard dad, and I've said this before, because it's like you want them to feel welcome. So you had to find your feminine side in a way. You know what I mean? Not in the found. So like you had to become
absolutely.
softer, go in the kitchen and cook. So I went back to thinking how my mum was, you know, in the kitchen cooking and stuff, and how she was structured and explaining. So I did that. With my dad was the morals and all, you know, work ethic, but then I had to adapt my way of explaining things. I can't just go bang, 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 because I had no backup to say, hey, go apologise to your father. You upset him because the way you treated him. I don't have that backup.
No, of course not. No.
So I sort of explain things. I've become stoic in a way, dude. Listening to books and stuff and controlling my emotions and understand it's not about me. Don't take it personal and understand them as growing. So it changes too, because when your son goes from 5, which he was at the start, now he's 12. Testosterone's coming in, so you can't think, oh, you know, he's doing this to me because of this. You got to think of him developing as well, you know. And then you reflect on how you were parented.
That's the
Then you
healing
start to look
part.
at your own dad and go, fuck. Like, you know, then you start to think of your trauma.
Yeah.
You start to go, fuck, that's why I'm like this, because of this. He
Of
never
course,
was
yeah.
like
It
this
all
as a
clicks
father.
one day.
And so
Yeah.
I'm learning more about myself. By learning about myself, I become a better dad.
Absolutely.
So I look into all the shit, man. And you research it, dude. You know, I mean, you can't just fucking lose your shit and you know, demand stuff or act childish. You got to raise the bar, mate. You got to be that mum too.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
one big aspect of me healing my daddy issues was I'm turning 35. So my dad was 31 when I was born. So now, so now I'm in those years. So now if I reflect back to when I was 5 years old and all the stories that I heard from my mom and then all the things that were going on, all the terrible stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm now the age that my dad was when he was doing that.
Yeah,
and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm that age now. And I'm thinking in my mind, holy crap, how all right, I understand. I don't. So I'm processing all this, and the biggest factor is I'm now that age.
Yeah.
And I just
And you understand him more.
Yes,
Of
I
how he
understand
reacted and what he could have done.
So much more.
Yeah.
So much more. Still doesn't make it right, but I can understand it.
Do you find a bit of resentment, resentment
No.
in a way because you're like, he could have done this better?
No resentment. No resentment. No, I went through resentment before.
Yeah.
Now I don't go through resentment. I go through understanding.
Yes.
And I'm starting to ask deeper questions.
Yeah, nice, dude.
You know, and that even what you said before is like, you look at your children, especially your son, now going through those years and getting testosterone, you see the way that he develops.
Yeah.
And then you can even see yourself. You should see yourself.
I do, man.
And that heals that. And you'll see that as well.
It's beautiful, dude. I see him physically as well.
That's it.
You know, he's starting to fill out a bit and he's going to grow. You know, you start to get the baby fat and stuff, and I like it.
Don't let him turn into me, bro.
You're still growing, Stojy.
It's all baby fat.
But going back to like when you said with your dad, your age, you know what I found with my age, 42, when am I, 43? I'm Stifler's mum's age, dude. She was old. Stifler's mum, hey Nick, you probably...
American
Stifler's
Pie.
mum. American Pie was perfect for me, 99. That was
Whoever
my
doesn't-
final, and you're out of school, dude. And it
Yeah.
came out, and Stifler's mum was Stifler. She was the old mum. That's my age
That
now.
was the goal.
That was...
But how old do you feel?
Oh,
Do you
fuck.
feel like a dilf? Like that's the biggest score in life is oh my god, a 43-year-old. But when you get to 43, you're like, hey, whoa,
Spinal surgery.
it's not that old.
just standing there and your hip pops. Oh, fuck,
Yeah, I
you know.
know. You got to kick the soccer ball.
I was still young, but...
But you do have to look after your body. That's one thing I can.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
That's-
think you got to look after your body, but one of the biggest things you got to look after is your head.
Your
I mean,
mind.
how, in your mind, how do you instill in your son and daughter, and how do you instill in yourself, and how do I instill in everyone around me? We're lacking it now in this day and age. I think society now is very bereft of it because there's too much unimportant shit going on. How do you then mine and reconnect with purpose? If you've got kids, without purpose, you've got nothing. And I feel like now we're just totally dry of purpose. And so, you know, this funny thing that's been coming up now about, it's a little bit of an old kind of thing, but the whole Roman Empire, the men thinking of the Roman Empire, and that you remember that kind of trend?
Yep.
And you look into it and you think, I think I know why. It's because it seems like back in the time of the Roman Empire, a man had purpose and a man had his place, and he was the center of his world. Yeah, there's a little bug flew into
It
you
wasn't a
there.
wasp though.
I mean, let's be honest.
He was the center of his world,
Well,
and he got respect from his partner.
Well, as corny of a question as
Didn't
it
get
is,
shit.
He didn't-
Where you been?
Yeah, well, what time you're late, sweetheart? Here's
That's
the
it.
kids. Now you're cooking tonight.
That's
No,
it. I'm tired.
he was treated because he had a purpose, so the woman respected him with that. And
But
that's
the
thing
woman
why
had
it's
purpose
lost.
as well.
the woman had a
yeah.
role. Her role's been stripped from her now,
Yeah.
and it's been told that
Yeah.
instead of caring for a family, that's disempowering. Caring for a family and basically nurturing your biology is disempowering. But going to work every day on the bus, rain, hail, or shine, in a power suit, working for the man, literally and figuratively, is and complaining about how I'm not paid as much because of my gender's victimhood. Is more empowering than being at home.
Yeah.
And the funniest story is my missus, you know, before she had our first son, you know, as soon as he was, you know, born, he was a little bit hard when they're first born. Oh, I just keen to go back to work and go back to normal. And then as soon as he's a couple months old, my God, I'm not going back to work. Fuck that. Fuck that. Have to deal with another bloody year of, you know, will this fit me? Where can I try this on? You know what I mean? But then being at home, raising you, watching your kids
It's a
grow,
lot.
feeding your kids. And you'll see when you meet Mama, when we have our big feed, that she's an anti-feminist.
I love her already.
She actively detests them and says that if you think that having children, cooking for them and growing a new generation of men is disempowering, or women, well then there's just something wrong with you. You've been failed somehow, either by the system or by your parents. Because you see, when I can tell you tongue-in-cheek what I find most attractive. And when we talk about what we find attractive in women, I'm not talking about physically anymore.
No.
Obviously,
I was going to say
because
some
I'll
stuff.
get,
Okay, lucky.
but
say
we
big
also
booty.
well, because I get in trouble otherwise. But short Mexican women are my thing. But when you I go to the shops, you know.
Sorry. I love
When
you,
I go to the shops, I do a little shopping, and then I see a woman, obviously physically will tick the boxes, walking with her shopping trolley. But you know what the shopping trolley is full of? I can see a big stalk of celery poking out of the trolley, and I can see she's got greens and fruit, and I think, man, this chick's going home to cook something. Oh, that's so hot. And then you see these trashy chicks, Maccas with the kids. Come on, kids. Come on, Mason. What do you want on your Big Mac? You know, it's just
Connor.
That's it, exactly. You know what I find really attractive again
too.
on that? When I see sometimes these Instagram videos and you see like these the cooks, female cooks, but they use the big fucking chef's knife to fucking peel shit.
So sexy.
That for me, that's done.
Or
It's
when
done.
they can
It's
peel
done.
something like that and not get their thumb.
It's done. And
That's going on,
you know why? Because that's like real fucking knife skills there. I know she can fucking make me a good Parmigiano.
And
You know?
this is what you're saying. Okay, to go back to my partner, my new partner,
Your new partner,
to hate all them. You know,
Well,
I've been single 4.5 years.
Preface
right?
it, because I'm going to lead into something. Where is she from and what is
Colombia. She's Colombian.
I know where you're going.
She's not westernised.
She's not Western.
She's not
Don't worry, I'm gonna lead it.
But
away.
I'm not arrogant or nothing chauvinist. It's just what I've learned in 4.5 years of you know, living La Vida Loca. It was a
Being
bit
a
of
monk
research and
life.
development. It was R&D,
Namaste.
and I noticed, I just got to a point I didn't want it. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need any of that.
No.
But what she's brought to me is just like stuff I needed, and she supports that as a man, and it actually gives me some sort of calmness, man, in a really weird way, where and it gives me some sort of calmness, and I think that's what we need. So if you come home from work as a man now, and you go home and you cop stuff, and you have to do stuff, or you're asked where you are and emasculate or whatever you want to call it,
Can you do the dishes?
you get fucking angry. Then you got the shits, and then you take it to work, and then you haven't slept with each other for weeks or months, and then what?
Your resentment builds up, and then you go and look for it, or she go look for it for someone else, and then you catch her in the act, and then it was a cry for help. I did everything but
I
talk to
slipped
You
you.
never
I
paid me
fell.
attention.
Please.
I
So
yawned and
fucking,
it
I
went in
pay
my
all the
mouth.
bills. What do you want?
That's
I pay all the bills.
you arrogant asshole. You
know, like,
chauvinist pig.
Yeah.
The other
You
day,
know, fuck you.
the other day,
I'm
it's
a lesbian
like
now.
the missus, and I,
Change teams.
the missus and I are talking, and it's like, oh yeah, like in future, like you come home from work, and you know, I think I made the comment like, when I come home, I expect dinner cooked and ready. I do.
He's so up front. The oak Serbian, Nick.
I expected.
The oak Serbian.
Because you know why?
With a cigar. Too,
I get up at 4 o'clock. I don't get home till 6. When the fuck am I going to cook?
That's
and
a
I'll
big
say
day,
that freely.
man.
That's a big day. So I get up when am I going to cook? And then I'm going to come home and it's oh, can you cook? No.
Is
no.
the missus at home most of the day?
No, she works. Well, the thing is, like, if
She
you have
works 12 hours
if you
a
have a
day.
job and you're home from 5 o'clock, mate.
So who
it's good.
cooks
Well,
that?
at least
I'm still at home.
at least
bro. My mum
preheat
cooks.
the oven or something.
mum.
At least.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
what you
just
got your
turn it
mum.
on for you. I'll just remind you.
Because you're with your mum, right? So that's
That's it.
fantastic.
But
too.
in future,
But see, this is the thing. How is that if she's working, the cost to live now, you need 2 wages. That's another thing
Yeah,
too, isn't
unfortunately.
it? How can you afford off 1 wage? And a lot of people, well, middle class, you know, maybe, but you're sort of
but
under that, like it's
let's
tough,
just say
man.
that, you know, your career path will be now fucking children and making a home, you know, because it's isn't it like a male dominated
Hunt and
industry
gather, man.
for like what as a male, why would I settle for 70, 80 grand a year? I'm going to go for as much as I can. If I can get $1, $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a year, I'm going to work my ass off. She doesn't have to.
Okay, so you need that support to a man with a purpose.
Yes.
Going back to a good partner, if you have a purpose, fine, but you got to have that support as a partner too. You know, to understand. Go. If you don't have that support, how can you live your purpose and do that sort of stuff?
You
know,
need
be
that
fair.
support, mate.
You know what I mean?
You know, you need that support.
You do.
Coming back to what did your missus earlier say to you? I'm going to look after you so you can look after us.
Exactly,
That's
mate.
it
And
done,
you know
mate.
what? It's
That's,
up front.
that's
Yeah, but you
That's
could. You,
beautiful.
it is beautiful, but it's not even looked at it like, oh, how dare you? You're expecting. So these days, you're expecting me to look after you. It's like, man, I get it. I would. That I'd want to. If
And
you're
they're
going to
always
look
so
after my
tired.
health,
They're always so tired.
It's the.
I'm ranting now, sorry.
Sorry, the tree trunk, man. It goes back to the tree trunk.
Ah.
You know, if the tree trunk's not looking after itself, it's a branch's fall, right? It's the same shit.
And what's this Uber Eats shit? Always eating out, getting Uber Eats and someone else
No,
cooking
this is
for you.
DY. This is the capital of Uber
Why don't you
Eats.
cook, mate? Home food.
And fresh, mate.
This is how awesome it smells. Do you know how happy I get when I go home and I can smell
Oh, dude.
pasta,
A saucepan,
lasagna,
sauce bubbling.
Something was
Or roasted
made, like,
vegetables,
inside my soul, something is like, oh my God, I'll do whatever now. I'm going to push even harder.
Do you go masturbate first and then go?
No,
eat?
I don't.
We do it afterwards.
What must have? No, bro, I don't.
Better on a full stomach.
I
So you
don't.
can fall asleep.
I'm a man of God. I don't do that. I'm not tempted by the devil.
You are a married god with your hair and your white. I could really see you in a robe.
I'm not tempted by the devil.
No.
Only on Friday mornings. All right, but
It's gonna turn
anyways,
down
like
You're not hurting anyone but
to
yourself.
darling, if she hears his podcast, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way, but fuck.
Does
you
she
know,
watch
like,
your podcast?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Yeah, Pisceans in their own world, mate. Swimming
Yeah.
around their own world, doing their
Oh,
own thing.
Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces.
Fish, mate.
What's your star sign?
Leo.
Hey. Hi, he's the king.
Yeah, Leo.
What are you?
That's right. Fuck, I'm Taurus, dude. Taurus and Leo.
Compatible.
It's
we?
weird. Well, my new one, Carolina, she's a Leo. Ex-wife is a Leo.
Oh, she's the boss.
I get along
mate.
with Leos. I love Leos. They're the king of the jungle.
They're the ones in control.
But the bull is like the bull's a bull.
Stubborn. But the king is
Also
never wrong.
breeding, man.
We can headbutt.
Oh, you can.
But we get along. Yeah, we get along.
Nick, what's your star sign?
Oh.
No wonder he's so,
Pisces.
he's so submissive.
Pisces. He's so beautiful.
He's so submissive.
We're creative.
He's had a big day.
He has had a big day.
He's had a big day. We had some nice pizza across the road there. Stojy should have made it.
I got told to come late.
Did you like that?
Nah,
Did you like it?
it was all right, man. I'll have to do a review on him. I didn't. Nah, it's all right. I had my own thing. That tree fell on my bloody shed.
Yes, it
I'm
did.
pissed off.
Nah, I'm not pissed off. I'm actually really happy with this. And you know, coming back to it's like you have to figure out what your purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of our life and our purpose is procreation and furthering our generations.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We've lost that. You see in the animal kingdom, how, like what we're going to be so different to them, and they're pushing us so that we can lose that. And who's going to have the family in the generations? Look at the Rothschilds. They have family crests. Look at that. They support that. They celebrate that. Family trust deed, setting up themselves for eternity.
And the rest
Us,
are peasants.
I don't know if I'm a man or if I'm a female.
Do you
Are you
think-
fucking serious?
Do you think old man Rothschild, old man Rockefeller actively drills into his kids' head what they drill into kids' heads in public schools?
Nah, man.
I don't think so. They teach them, obviously, as much as I detest them and how deplorable they are, spiritually and mentally, they're succubuses of Satan themselves. But having said that, we should all be more like them.
Yeah.
In terms
You
of how we prop up our kids for success.
Yep.
And obviously we don't want to say, hey, look, suppress the masses by teaching them shit that doesn't matter and feeding them seed oils. But you can do it in a more of a metaphorical way but take it by the horns. Anything you can do is yours. They've done it, so why can't you do it? Do you know what I mean?
You said on your last podcast, man, about family and stuff, like
Yeah.
about carrying it on. Look at this. Biasi.
But that's why I love
Freaking
coming here. I love
fantastic,
this.
man. It's so family.
When we dropped you off at the house, your house last time, you got generations and all this stuff, and the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
stand
yeah.
against developers in DY.
Yeah.
It's
Well, this
this
is the last block to be developed, but because there's family businesses, tie shop's a family business, jeweler next door is a family business,
thing.
computer shop next door is a family business. The Greek family owns the pharmacy around the corner. So obviously they try and go to each business and say, hey, we'll offer you a little bit
Oh,
more
that's
if you
all right,
sign the thing. No. We've all still got something.
But
to get.
fuck, go.
We've got
They're going to organise the floods,
what?
mate.
Yeah, they're going to
Forget
build a
about
plan,
it.
Organise
put
the
us on the
floods.
bottom, and then make us pay rent. We own the shop.
this
we're gonna
can't
pay
flood.
rent
This
somewhere.
can't flood. This shop cannot flood.
Dude, they'll raise the waters. They'll flood it out. Those
Yeah.
your smart
no,
city
from
do your
that.
way.
Yeah, look.
Like the fucking LA fires.
Well, it's got to be a bit.
Look at you
smart.
say, you went quiet there, didn't you? You still thought about it.
No, because I was just thinking.
They won't do it here.
Nah, Northern Beaches.
They won't do
is
it here.
not- No, it's more.
Hey,
expanding
Malibu.
out.
The fire's Malibu. Mel Gibson's house burnt down.
Yeah, but they won't do it in Australia.
Are you
Yeah,
sure?
They're the new
That's
world.
what
here.
sure?
That's what Lismore was, wasn't it?
We're
sure?
free. Yeah, but they add to this.
We're free. We
only
really
200
are free.
Yeah, but we're not there. Okay, what do they want to redo?
Oh, sorry.
Oran Park's a new city.
Fuck. Look, there's a master
They build
plan
out. We've
there.
got land
Look,
here.
you know, stay tuned to the podcast, and in 10 years' time, 15, 20 years' time, we'll revisit it. This night's round table's not going to stop, mate.
No, it's
in
not
about
gonna
20
stop.
years' time, we'll have another one.
As long as we can freely talk about it, well, then this is what I want to do, because it's like I've said in the other episodes today. The whole reason why I've brought it into the barbershop is because it is the last bastion of free speech. You can't, and this is the
That's
thing,
perfect.
and this is what the people didn't understand during the COVID times, when we were adamantly against the COVID narrative, not against it because I didn't agree with it, against it because it rung alarm bells because it didn't make any sense. And obviously you know what happened. If you've been following me for all those years, you know the family, you're vilified for it. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I put up a sign on the window saying, I don't care what you think about it. You can think whatever you want, as long as you don't tell me how to think or what to think or vilify me for what I've done. Well, then you're welcome in here. But if you're going to come in here and try and give me your piece and say that you're, with some kind of ridiculous Today Show back science, like, oh, gee, if Daniel got jabbed up and I didn't, I'm putting everyone in danger. I said, all right, well, if you can explain that to me, well, then you can You know, you can have the haircut for free if you can explain exactly what that means. And say, well, it's just common sense. I said, nah, that's not explaining it. That's just a statement. Explain it to me. Because at the end of the day, me not getting it is putting you in danger. But when I drop off my pure blood kids to kindy, all of a sudden, them not having it is only putting themselves in danger, not anyone else. So when did that fact change? Because we just spent 3 years in COVID saying it was the opposite, and now it's not. So, and this is the thing. I go on Instagram and I look at a few, you know, with these ridiculous pro-Palestine things. And I'm not saying I'm anti-Palestine or anti-Israel. If a guy came up on the street and said, what do you think about it? I said, look, man, I really don't care. I wish someone would just drop something on that whole thing and just end it. So I can just go back to walking through town hall without someone going, Inshallah, brother, free Palestine. I'm like, fuck off, bro. I don't care. And then you go over the street, it's like, hey, man, support Israel. Bro, I don't care. I don't care. Are you guys still not switched on enough to realise that you're not helping anything?
They're the ones that ran for the whole vax thing.
Oh, the whole time.
Same people. But it's all part of the
Where was everyone where were all these people during when your rights? Where were you during the COVID times?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the first thing I said. All the people protesting, and I support. If you want to protest, that's fine. If you want to speak about it, and me personally, I don't support the bombing of innocent children.
No, and it's a shame. People have to die.
It's a shame. Exactly. I know that we're both agreeance of that, but the whole situation there, I can see it's a big farce between.
Divide and conquer tactics.
Exactly, between powers. But a lot of people that came out to start supporting these things, say this, were like, where were you during when I was being told that I had to get a medical procedure that I didn't want to? You weren't there then. Everyone just shut up.
Well, being on the street during that COVID time actively would have made a difference. It would have made the establishment shit themselves a bit. Okay, we've poked the bee's nest enough. The test is successful. We know that we can put people in Melbourne through absolute torment before they'll do anything. So that was the test. That's how much they can kick the hornet's nest before we start to swarm.
The biggest thing is when people said, I took it because I had no choice.
It's a half-truth.
Yeah, I feel sorry for that.
You always have a choice.
I feel sorry because it's a lot of guilt.
It's always the choice. But then my cousins lived in Melbourne and they said they went through some shit. I believe it.
I believe it.
That they could not even leave their house. That's pretty fucked what happened there. But still,
but the place
that's why you buy some acreage.
The place where you weren't allowed to say it on now, I'm going to say Zuckerberg. Biggest bullshit.
Oh, you can now.
Biggest bullshit thing out. You know what I mean? Like that was him backpedaling, and he's trying to be nice and stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, then you can.
Why
say
isn't he punished for it?
Jumping on the anti-censorship,
what doesn't he be punished for it?
Anti-censorship thing that he's saying we're going to take it away. But where were you when you were actively saying, oh yeah, we have to ban anything that isn't fact checked? Oh, we never had fact. He's just hypocrite. You know what I mean? And having a guy on like that really makes me question Rogan's allegiance to...
I'm happy you said that. I was actually... I'm a Rogan fan, but I was like, dude, you just sold out.
But,
you got him on, but did he get him on to show the fakeness? Or is it just because now he's up there?
Or is he still just leaving it up to us and he's just...
but it's always up to us. But the thing is, I think we're forgetting...
He doesn't deserve the fucking platform.
Let's not forget one key thing. That's his show, his podcast. He's allowed to go whichever way down that he wants to.
You don't have to watch it.
We don't have to. Of course. If he wants to go down and he sort of, you know his opinions on a lot of stuff, and if Zuckerberg, as if you wouldn't allow Zuckerberg, a billionaire and fucking tech mogul, to come on. If he came in, come on, bro, and let's have a chat. I'm not going to put him. I'm not going to start telling him he's a cocksucker. Yeah, you know. But the thing is, all right, let's talk. And I think that you still have to show him.
I think because he's got Meta. You know what I mean? It's just sort of thing. Well, you need Meta. Is what you need, right?
Well, I think part of it as well is that we've put Rogan on too much of a pedestal of.
He's just a man, bro. He's a comedian.
Obviously he's the guy that's he's not the smart one. It's the guys in interviews that are the ones that have the knowledge. But he obviously has passively become very smart too from having spoken to these people. But having said that, I think as soon as you start making him the beacon of information, like the source, because his shows become like the gospel. Do you know what I mean? Everything they say on there must be right. It's the
number one podcast, and I listen to a lot of his stuff. Do I agree with everything? I find it entertaining. I love it.
Make the thing is, what you will.
Sorry?
Make of it what you will.
Exactly. But the thing is, during COVID, when he finally came out and said that he was not vaccinated, that gave a lot of people hope.
Course, dude.
And it's like, finally, all you needed was him to say, yeah, I did it, you need to go get it. Then it's like, oh, fuck,
we saw the media onslaught. That's when they really started to go for
it. He brought down CNN from that, man. They
just, honestly, be who you are. Don't change for nobody. And don't ever put anyone on a pedestal. That's it. Don't. Don't ever put anyone on a pedestal, man, because you get let down.
Just quickly, too, do you reckon Trump's going to make it?
Yeah. Yeah, all the way.
There's a lot of talk.
antichrist.
There's a lot of
stuff
talk with
happening here now.
the immigration over there. They're going to have false terrorist attacks and blame.
Of course they will, bro.
That's why they're in there.
There's false flag
They're going
attacks
to take
all
him
the time.
out and blame all sort of things, man.
Good luck trying to take him out. It's not going to be easy.
They're doing it indoors now.
Yeah. Oh, because it's
They're,
cold as
they're
well.
afraid
It's
of
cold as well.
nuclear attacks on him, mate.
Yeah, but the whole world's going towards nuclear war. Look, they're poking Russia for the last how many years? Okay. So it's the whole world's. That's why I said to you, we're in a recession. They haven't said like we're in a deep recession. The world's financially fucked. America's about to pop 34, 35, 36 trillion dollars
don't know what it's
in
gonna
debt.
look like,
Exactly.
It'll happen.
The world's in turmoil, man. The world, and there's kids cutting their dicks off. Like the world's in turmoil, bro. Simple.
Collapse of an empire, man.
But that happens all the time. It happens.
We'll read about what Rome was like
Exactly.
when they got sacked by the obviously by the Lombards. Obviously, this when it was sacked multiple times at the end of its thing. Obviously, because when that was happening, the Eastern Roman Empire, Constantinople, was starting to come up on the fringes there in the east. But then Rome, and they say obviously that. Oh, what was that one quote that they said that obviously governments will start making these crazy ass laws and having the society will flip as soon as the end's coming. When I mean the end, I mean the end of a society, which is just one falling and one coming back up. It's not the end of days. We're not talking like another Younger Dryas here. We're just talking one society falling, one coming up again.
But that's normal. And there's a new society coming, a digital one. It's a digital one coming.
One world government, mate.
Absolutely.
That's what they want. One world religion. That's why I keep to myself. I follow Jesus Christ. I'm christened as an Orthodox. I love my religion. I'll go pay my homage to the church, and I have that within me. But I'll also seek and ask questions, and just go with that. And I'm not going to cut my dick off.
I really encourage you to go and look at Gnosticism.
Bro, I'm going to go onto your page. I don't know what you just thought.
The Gnostic Gospels, Gnosticism. It's like
That's the book you're reading, the Gnostic
I
Gospels.
finished
Yeah,
it.
he's put a review
it's
on.
basically the arch.
What is that? Explain, yeah.
Gnosticism is essentially basically like a dualistic view of Christianity. I've written it in my review of the book in a much better form, but it's basically so gnosis, knowledge. So whereas the Orthodox will say you have faith in Jesus Christ, this and that will offer you salvation, but the Gnostics will say no, it's knowledge of thyself, and gnosis that will bring you salvation. And they're a lot more into like the feminine, a lot more about Mary Magdalene, whereas the Orthodox are very much like, no, we take the crucifixion and everything very, 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 very literally, whereas the Gnostics are like, no, that's all metaphorical. And there's differences. If I want to give a proper thing of it.
Go.
I'm going to get my phone.
Because what are you up there doing? Mary Magdalene came up with Susie Wilson. Like, a lot of Mary Magdalene's coming.
That's come up. It is a New Ages thing as well. It is a bit. So you sort of like, what really did happen? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Mary was there. No one asked about Mary.
All right, listen to this. So
He's got Mary.
So this is the synopsis of what it is,
mums, dude.
right?
You know what I mean?
So the Gnostic Gospels are a collection of ancient religious texts discovered in 1945 near Nag Hammadi in Egypt. They were written between the 2nd and 4th century CE and represent a mystical and alternative interpretation of Christianity that diverges from the orthodox teachings of the early church. These texts emphasize spiritual knowledge, gnosis, over external authority or rigid doctrine. They often reinterpret key Christian figures and events, presenting Jesus as a teacher of hidden wisdom rather than a saviour through crucifixion. Some well-known texts include the Gospel of Thomas, Mary, and Philip. The Gnostic Gospels were deemed heretical by early church leaders and excluded from the canonical Bible, but they provide fascinating insights into the diversity of early Christian thought.
I like that.
But even though you have the Council of Nicaea and all these other kind of like events that happened where they chose what the canonical Bible would be, and then the Ethiopian Orthodox, the Tewahedo Church, has the most complete book of the Bible, which includes ones that the mainstream church now, like Enoch, because that gives credence to the whole alien and England Anunnaki thing.
Well, I don't mind that too.
And then they've kicked all that stuff out of it.
I don't disagree with that stuff.
So 100%. So if I have to say anything about if someone wants to give their mind food for thought about Christianity, definitely The Sign and the Seal by Graham Hancock. I have not been able to put it down. It is incredible, and it's really old. It's over 30 years old. That guy's just insane.
Oh, he's the best.
Graham Hancock's the
He's
best.
the best, dude.
He's the absolute. He's a goat, man. That and the Gnostic Gospels, because at the end of the day, you're all believing the same thing. But me being more of the spiritual person, more in terms of frequency, vibration, I do, I like the idea of the Gnostic Gospels. But then again, you don't have to adhere to anything.
Yeah.
Just do what we're doing, man.
Yeah.
Do the best you can do for your family. Treat others the way that you the way that you would want it. And that's just it. Instead of arguing over, and when you read the Gnostic Gospels, you'll see that there was all of these Orthodox scholars from way early on that were very much like, no, it has to be like this. But then when you actually look into it, you see that they're only like that because they were trying to cement themselves. All right, we have to have bishops. Okay, what do bishops give you? Power. And you can kind of see the hypocrisy in it. They were trying to set up a organized structure. But when you have an organization, it begins to rot from the head.
Yeah,
whereas the Gnostics were very much not against that kind of formation of a set church.
Yeah.
So the Orthodox, I don't know, they are the keepers of the original church, but to be honest, they do have a fair bit to answer for.
Of course.
Just like, you can't say the Pope, I think you already know what he can do. To my cool, but that doesn't mean the patriarchs are completely off the hook, mate. I think any governing body like you've got to have some kind of moral corruption.
Go back to Jesus, man.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
That's where it came from.
I feel like everyone forgets it.
Comes down
You know what I mean?
It's like, go back to Jesus. Live the way of Jesus.
But also, like, one of his main messages is like, you'll find all the answers within yourself.
There you go.
Exactly.
So just take his teaching, say this is the way you have to live, but through their own interpretation of it. And one important way of living is like treat others how you wish to be treated.
It really is that simple.
Simple. Just
The rest of it's
too.
unless you're a fucking psychopath, and then
Well, then don't.
Well, that comes from the devil, mate. But that's like Stoicism, like you said it. Remember?
Or a dominatrix.
Stoicism, Jesus was a Stoic, man.
He was a Stoic.
And this is the thing, like it goes back to the same core values and shit. So
Jesus had God in his heart, mate. He had God in his heart. And
magic mushrooms.
Possibly
could be, man.
That's definitely something to bring up.
That's next time.
That's next time. But boys, having said that, who wants beard trims and head shaves?
I would love a beard trim,
I haven't shaved since my operation, man. So give me a nice little... Can you? Do you have time?
We'll get it done.
All right.
Let's go. Thank you.
I love that.
Beautiful.